What's up, guys? Joe Munoz, OneStepPrepAcademy.com and OneStepPrep.com. I'm joined here by the one and only Jose. Okay, Jose's got quite the story we're going to share with you. He's one of our students that came through. He's got a ton of flying experience, but primarily what we're going to talk about was his experience here and his experience at another school. Jose is one of many students that started at another school, had a not so great experience, and then ended up coming to our academy, to our school here. And I just want to share with you before we get into the Q&A we're going to do with him. An FAA rule is that you cannot transfer credit. I have other videos that I've recorded, I said this before, but I just want you to understand if you start at one school and then you want to transfer, the 2 or 3 sims or days of ground school you did at one school to come to this school, it's not our policy, it's the FAA policy. They don't let you do that. You have to complete a curriculum in its entirety from start to finish. So Jose ended up paying for his initial A320 type rating twice. Once at a school that you're going to hear about that was not the best of experiences, and then unfortunately he had to come here and start all over again. So with that, thanks for being here.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here, Joe.
Yeah. So I want to first take the time and thank you for your time for doing this. Let's just kind of get into it. So it's kind of a little casual conversation Q&A. How did this go? You decide I want to get an A320 type. So walk us through that.
I looked around and I looked at different schools throughout the Florida area. And
you live in Florida?
Yes, I live in Florida.
Okay, so Florida was of interest because he lives in Florida.
Yeah, and I've seen, I've looked at all dimensions to include pricing, curriculum, and I want to say attracted to this other one because it was close to my house and the price was comparatively competitive. But the end story is another one.
Yeah. What's the end story?
The end story is that once I enrolled here in that school, and from day one you could see that the students' interests were not really taken at heart by them, and the concerns that the student has are not a priority, and all that translated into a level of anxiety that builds up on a student that's trying to finish a curriculum and then obtain a rating.
Sure. The conversations we've had, off camera, it's very encompassing of many different things. So you find this place, right? Like any school. First contact, right? How quickly did they get back? How was the customer service? Let's start from there. We'll get to the instruction later, but how was the customer interactions initially and then throughout?
Initially, well, they're very receptive to you. They want to obviously accommodate you into their schedule. Once you're enrolled, that's different when you get there, and you basically don't have a place to sit in, and the treatment is different. It was really different from the initial toothy smile contact that they give you.
Yeah. So it's smile, come here, we're the best thing since sliced bread.
Yeah.
You enroll, you pay your deposit, perhaps you pay your whole course fee, you show up, different story.
Yes.
I know administratively you have to do IACRA, okay, which if you don't know, that's an online website for you to submit your application. It can be somewhat confusing. Did you have anybody there help walk you through that?
Well, you would have to pay a price. They have in this particular place, if you want help navigating the ocean of IACRA, because as you know, IACRA has many different intricacies that if you hit the wrong button, now you're committed to something and you have to start from the beginning or call over there and it's a nightmare. So if you wanted to navigate the IACRA process and have somebody in the school give you guidance, you would have to pay a premium
Sure.
for them to sit down with you and help you.
Yeah. I don't think you required TSA.
No.
Okay. So in his case, he didn't need the TSA approval, but just as an FYI, if you do, that would be another ocean to navigate, is getting your TSA approval. Letter of verification. If you have a foreign pilot license, you need to get a letter of verification. There's a whole slew of documents that has to be collected. Ideally, you have somebody who has an understanding of this, that is attentive to you and can tell you quickly what you need and make it very simple. That's a part of the administration process. That's before you haven't learned anything about the Airbus yet, or the 737. That's just getting in the door, right? So, okay, so now let's go to the instruction. So, do you feel like you were really getting quality instruction, or how was that?
Well, and it's not just me. Other students that were there showed the same concern.
One of which, I don't mean to cut you off, was your partner, who already came through our school and then recommended he come to our school. So
that's right.
Jose is one of many students that's gone to another school and has come, to our school, to our academy. So anyway, his partner did the same thing. That's how you found us too, as well.
Yes, we felt that we were given the bare minimum in terms of instruction, in terms of the requirements, period. The extra mile was not there. The attention to detail when it comes to customer service was not there, and frankly, it turned later into a lack of confidence when it came time to take the check ride.
Sure.
And if granted, I did not take the check ride. We did the whole curriculum right up to the end, and we didn't feel comfortable standing to the standard of the check ride, and we said we have to, I have to look for another place.
So we had a conversation earlier this morning off camera that talked about, there's 100 ways to do the same thing. And you can do, one of the more simpler ways, the intermediate, the most complex, but ultimately all paths lead to the same summit, right? You're looking at the same thing at the end. Yeah. So one of the comments I think you made was, here we give you a way that works, that's not very complex. We might hit a couple other points here and there, talk about techniques here and there, but we very much, I would say, per your words, we're more to the point, standardized in terms of giving you something that works but is not way over the top, particularly in an initial course, right?
That's right.
I think you said too, this other academy, it was almost like they wanted you to do the most difficult way to do the same thing, that ultimately led to a lack of confidence.
Yes, basically if you complicate something, if you complicate a cup of coffee into into an elaborate thing, then it's not going to be a cup of coffee.
Yeah. So just have a cup of coffee, would you? Okay. So all right. So now you get through the training. The resource availability is a concern.
Yes.
In other words, how quickly can I finish this? Not what does your sales team say? I mean, like for real, how long is this actually going to take? So talk to about.
You were told to expect 3 weeks, which is, basically what I've seen is the standard for an initial covering all the bases. But in terms of structure, you are not given a schedule where you can expect this to happen this day and this to happen this day. You want to be certain of how long am I going to be here doing this, because it's costing me not only the tuition but all the peripheral things.
Yeah.
That was another observation we had.
Yeah, that's of concern, especially if you're not, you're not from here, period. Maybe you're from out of the country completely, right? You come here from South Korea or South Africa or South America, you come from parts of Asia, whatever, and, you know, you gotta buy an airfare, you gotta buy a hotel, you gotta buy your lodging and all these things. Then all of a sudden, things don't go to plan, your schedule doesn't align with your date of return. Now you gotta pay for a different ticket to go back a different day, you gotta extend your hotel stay, you gotta extend the rental car. Like all these things come into play, you know, so I understand that from what you're coming from there. All right, so then you come here. What's the contrast in what you experienced here versus what you experienced over there?
Well, from day one, the demeanor of the staff, you feel welcome, and all the way through simulator, where One Step Prep sources their simulator, they are on point, on schedule. Virtually, I haven't heard of any maintenance issues with their simulators.
Right.
They have various simulators. If one is down for maintenance, there's another one available, and all these things add up and either increase or diminish your anxiety as a student.
Because at the end, you're going to a checking event. There's 2 checking events. There's the oral, there's the check ride. The checking event in and of itself is enough. The last thing you want to do is have to deal with that with a heightened level of anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you can remove these other variables that contribute to your anxiety level, such as poor scheduling, poor resource availability, poor instruction quality, poor knowledge base of how to navigate the other administrative functions of submitting an application to the FAA, why would you deal with all that? And then, oh, by the way, I got to go deal with the ride and go deal with everything else you got to go deal with, right? So it's like you're continually kind of hitting this thing on like, everything that can be done to minimize anxiety and go into the ride as peacefully as possible.
Yeah.
Okay, which is ultimately really the key to win, whether it's an Olympic Games that's happening right now, or it's a type rating. You know, you want to be as level-headed and cool as you can.
Yeah.
So I hear you on what you're saying there. So, anything else to share? I mean, I'm thrilled you're even here doing this. So I appreciate your time. Anything, whatever else you want to share?
No, I'm pretty happy to have been able to complete this endeavor, this professional goal,
Sure.
And from day one, like I said, you guys have painted the path to success.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we want. Excellent. Jose, appreciate it. Thank you so much. If we can help you, you guys know where to find us. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel. OneStepPrepAcademy.com. That's the site for type ratings. If you want other courseware online, OneStepPrep.com. Both sites are linked back and forth, right? They talk with one another, so you know where to find us, all right? We're waiting for you here in Miami. We'll see you here, hopefully, as you embark on your own journey to get your type rating and your FAA ATP, all right? We'll see you here.